weight restricted drops. You've got 420 tons to make a drop deck, and you cannot have more than 2 of a weight class. So again, it ends up being that there's one weight class missing, but the teams are building around a drop deck tonnage. Beyond that, there are very few restrictions on the number of the mech choices. Teams have unlimited number of heroes available to them. There's no duplicate chassis or chassis limits restrictions in that case. Um, and every mech that's available in the store can be played. So that excludes just the 2 legendary mechs as of right now. I do believe the Hatchaman is available for MC in the store. All the heroes are available for MC in the store. So it's a very open tournament in terms of what teams can do in terms of bringing their drop decks. A lot of, well, some creativity is available. And you could argue that there's less creativity as you can take the same 2 mediums on every single drop. But it's easier to build drop decks as a team leader. We'll put it that way. And a little bit, you could play in this league with owning literally 1 mech, or you could even play trial mechs. There's no restriction against that. You would be at a definite handicap, but if you're a one-trick pony, this is the type of tournament that you might, or league that you might be best suited for. Alright, teams are still getting in here, getting ready. I believe one team is locked in. That would be the European Redcoats, who are playing Team 1. Are they locked? Maybe they are not. I'm not rushing the teams. It takes as long as they need to. This game is for the match is for the teams. It's not for the caster. It's not for the viewers as much as we like to enjoy it and not throw our time away. Hopefully we get a close, good match here. But it's about the players here. So whatever amount of time they need, they have it on my account. Alright, so I guess we could talk. I'm going to pop up a map strat here. We've got a couple of minutes. So Crimson Strait, that is the first drop. So the spawns have been moved on here. That happened a couple of months ago, but might be news for some of you who maybe don't play a lot of quick play, but still are here watching some comp. And the other major change is that some of the spawn points are moved around. Gamma, Kappa, and Theta especially were very much moved. Sigma and Epsilon I think are more or less the same as they were, but Epsilon, Sigma, basically a home cap. Kappa, Gamma, also almost a home cap for each team. And Theta is way off on the side, which we might see teams ignore it, or maybe teams will go for it. If teams go for it, there's a high potential of getting ambushed either at the pass or the tunnel, or just trying to get to or from the cap. There's a lot of ambush potential here if anyone tries to go for it. So we might just see teams try to play more the island side or on the platform and saddle potentially. But I'm expecting brawling. Lower divisions, they like to brawl. Brawl's relatively strong in the current meta, so we could see a brawl on the island or something a little bit different. But I don't think that we're going to see a Theta getting capped here, but could happen. It does exist. We are playing 5-cap format. So we're just waiting for one player to get back. And we have, so not a whole lot to say here. If teams do go trading, then we'll probably see trade mechs put up. Let's put down some circles for that. Could see mechs behind Gamma in the city of Delta 4, also fairly common trade position for the Team 1 side. Team 2 could be that they're going to trade from Kappa or take the platform and or saddle. And of course, both teams have equal access to the island. Well, the island's not completely symmetrical. There is a little bit of an advantage here maybe for Team 1 if they decide to push it where they have more cover moving up. But the island is a strong position for both teams, so we could very well see a brawl there. Okay, teams are locked, so we're going to be going. Okay, sounds like there was a technical issue, but I'm not seeing a hold being called yet. So I'm going to assume that everything is good on everyone's end. I'm looking at the European Redcoats team coming in here. They have a pair of Spider 5Es. That is a cap spider. They're going for a cap strat? That'd be wild. I was not anticipating that. Night Star with two Meat Pulse, 2 Rec 5. That looks undergun to me. Cataphract with 4 LBX 5. Marauder, 2 LBX 10, 5 ER Mead. And then a Centurion. This is going to be an LBX 5, is it not? Yes, it is. Pair of LBX 5, 2 medium lasers, and a rocket launcher 15. Did I miss a mech? I feel like I did. There's some mechs going to the islands. Get their builds quick. Oh, the spiders and Shadow Cat. What are they doing here? Single Gauss on the Shadow Cat. That is a quick play meme build. We'll see if they can do anything with that. Spider with a single ER large. All right. And the other Cap Spider is going for Theta. I did not get the build on that, but we've got some potential action here early. Javelin 11F. That is going to be a machine gun Javelin. 2 Javelin 11Fs. They're a little bit split. They could push the Shadow Cat because they do have a DPS advantage there. But that's a Gauss rifle. I don't know if they want to play with that with a peek and poke. I'm going to try to get the rest of the team loadouts here quick. Nova Prime, Hunchback. Hunchback 4SP, that's a brawler. Nova Prime probably also brawling. Yeah. Oh, 1 heavy large, 6 ER meat. Interesting. MREM, 2 MRM20s, 5 small lasers on that Marauder. And then Crusader 6T and a Charger A1 leading the pack here. 14 small pulse and 7 small lasers. So this is very brawly on, well, one team's kind of mid-range with the LBX 5s and such, and the other team is very much brawl. There's a skirmish on the island, but we've got a major clash about to occur here. I'll try to get both in view. Yeah, pair of javelins, diving the Shadow Cat. Shadow Cat's at 77%, 66%. The main fight is not occurring, so this is the main fight right here. Shadow Cat's going down. It's lagged. Spider's trying to help, but it's a single ER large. There is a 50% cooldown quirk or something on there, so it does have more DPS than it looks like initially, but the Shadow Cat is being ignored, or they're splitting into a pair of duels. Okay, Shadow Cat does go down. Rafu's at 77%. That is not a fresh mech. And we have a main fight. Somebody fell into the basement, and they are dead. The rest of the team dropped as well, so we have 2 fights going on. I'm going to go back to the main fight. The main fight has indeed started here. We have the Spider does go down near the island, so the 2 lights are going to be coming over to join the rest of the Swords and Sabers. But the rest of the Swords and Sabers are not doing so well in this outnumbered fight initially here. Looks like legs are being focused. Muzz is legged 61% in that cataphract. Marauder and Centurion here from Redcoat are doing a fair bit of damage from the background. Javelin has arrived to the fight. European Redcoats still have 3 mechs on the battlefield. The Spider has come back from Theta, but I don't know what the loadout is on that Spider, whether or not it's going to be effective at this kind of combat. I imagine it's not bringing a lot of firepower. We have just the 2 mechs remaining. The Marauder, which is legged. 2 LBX-10s still firing, but it's about to go down here to the Trout from behind. And that leaves just 1 Spider remaining. And that Spider could try to get out, but trying to do a cap when in this situation here, yeah, Spider's down. So this is a win for Sorensen Sabers. They had a pickoff on the island, pressing their DPS advantage despite being under-tunned in that fight. And then they also simultaneously dropped, which I don't think they needed to do. I'm not sure if maybe somebody fell and that's why the rest of them dropped, but they did end up winning that brawl. We have a Leg Nova remaining. And I'm going to get this build on the Javelin. I want to know, was it heavy machine guns? Yes, it was. Okay, I'm going to assume they're both the same. Just finishing out the caps here for Swords and Sabers. Having successfully won the drop, they now have to go stand in some squares for a little bit. And yes, heavy machine guns as well. So the Javelins have machine gun rated fire quirks for those heavy machine guns. And the DPS of a single Gauss rifle Shadowcat is quite low, so they did get the dive on that successfully. Okay, going to run through the damage numbers real quick here. We have from the European Redcoats top damage coming out of Epic Aces in that that was an LBX-10 Marauder with 579 damage dealt. A couple components destroyed. A little bit of a free farm from the side. Damage numbers in the Spiders are quite low, which it's not exactly what you're looking to do with fighting if you bring a Spider 5e. Typically you want to cap. It does have cooldown quirks for that ER large, but it's still just equivalent to maybe a 2 ER large type mech, and they end up getting caught in a brawl. Highest damage numbers for Swords and Sabers, it's the pair of Javelins, the Trout and Rafu bringing out 476 and 510 respectively. The Trout coming in with 4 kills as well. Very dominant performance there. Rest of the team, some of them you can kind of see probably who went down first in that brawl, just damage numbers lowest to highest. Okay, I need to switch the map here. They're going to... yeah, Free Worlds Coliseum. I'm trying to do this off of memory, and, well, we know how that goes for me. Free Worlds Coliseum, the brand new map. Update the scoreboard to reflect that Sorensen Sabers have indeed won a drop. Well, I guess something goes wrong on every cast. I had the wrong map room lobby linked to my stream, so yeah, apologies for that. My bad. So this is what Free World's Coliseum looks like. I'm going to select a yellow should show up on this. So we've got team spawns relatively close, not that interesting. Each team has basically a home cap of sorts. I mean, relatively. Theta's in the middle. Apparently it's one-sided and one team can shoot down into it, the other team can't or something. I don't remember which team was which. It's in the middle of the map. Cover is relevant in terms of determining whether it's a Team 1 favored map or Team 2 favored map, also various different strong trading positions. But on this map, the dominant place that I'm going to draw a little bit of attention to is going to be up in this Charlie 5 Delta 6 location. And what happens here is that teams can push if a team gets to secure this ridge up here, which is elevated terrain, maybe it's a little bit difficult to see on the stream, but that is elevated terrain. And if a team manages to park a couple of ranged mechs up here, they can kind of shoot down into the rest of the map with a very strong trading advantage. It's very high terrain relative to what else is on the map. There are some other high points, but they are not as high as this Charlie 5 to Bravo 4 to Delta 7 ridge. So what we might see is that a team tries to take it to get range up here, but then the other team tries to push in and brawl them. Or maybe both teams go for a brawl and they go to the location where they expect traders to be and don't find any traders. There are strong trading positions elsewhere on the map, I do believe as well, but the Charlie 5 location is just so dominant on this map that I doubt that teams are going to ignore it. Very strong advantage if somebody gets a trader up there. So I expect it's either teams are going to try to take it for themselves or deny their opponents from having it. And this is a large open map, but we might just see fast brawl up here anyways because teams are going to be trying to counter the range, or maybe both teams sit back and play Goss ER large. Could be surprised. All right, we have a lock from Team 1. Now, just a little reminder, the weight classes have changed on here. Now they're bringing 2 lights, 2 mediums, 1 heavy, and 2 assaults. So we have a lock-in from Team 1 waiting for Team 2. Okay, Team 2 is locked. And I'm launching. This map has a lot of purple. I don't mind it. I've heard it cause some issues for some people. I hope that is not the case. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they changed the color scheme a little bit, but I do like the purple. Alright, looking at Sorensen Sabers here, we have a Flea and a Locust. I will try to get those builds later, but I'm going to skip on to the next one. We have a Shadow Cat. Now, last time it was the European Redcoats that brought a Shadow Cat. Now we have a 2 ERPPC Shadow Cat coming out of Sorensen Sabers. A Direwolf C, that is a big mech, Goss ER large, so they're going range trade on that. Vapor Eagle 1 with triple peep, another range trade mech. Goss ER large of the it's a hero mech. I do not remember the name. It's a Marauder. Sorry. That's a Warhammer 2C, but it's the hero. I don't remember the hero name. And then we have a 4 Ultra 2 Sunspider. 100% pure range on their assaults, mediums, and heavies from Sorensen Sabers. Now we have a bit of a skirmish around Theta here. And this is a numbered advantage for European Redcoats, so Sabers are bailing out. We've got a Mistlings G. That is going to be heavy machine guns, almost undoubtedly. Yes, light machine gun ear small. Okay, Viper Incubus. Try to get the builds here quick. Mead Pulse 4 light machine gun on the Incubus, so that is a mid-range build. And then Viper is standard machine gun and small pulse on Carleith there. So that's also pretty brawl, but not completely hard committed like a heavy machine gun. On their assault, 8 medium pulse executioner. That is a non-standard but fairly brawly build. We have 3 heavy medium lasers on a black lanner, and a Spirit Bear with LBX-20 SRM 6 Artemis. Now this brawl started, that's not where Jimmy wants to be, frontlining the brawl. We've got LBX-20 SRM 6 Orion leading the brawl, now backing out. European Redcoats are backing out of this fight, and they do not have their lights up here with them in the fight. The Flea and the Locust are attempting to stall some of this fight from the brawlers from coming in. Jimmy's getting focused. Jimmy's 69% there in the Sunspider and down. Executioner is being harassed by the Locust, but are the rest of the Sabers getting shots in on this fight? That is the question that I have. The Direwolf did make it up to a shooting position before that fight started, or while the fight was going on, so they are getting shots in. That's not exactly the extreme range that Direwolf wants to be fighting at, but this is not looking too bad for Sorensen Sabers at the moment. Now the PPCs are going to start running hot on their various PPC mechs, and we have a Spirit Bear flank coming in here. I'm not even sure if the Direwolf is aware of this. Okay, they've turned around. They do have a UAV up. Yes, they do. Okay, great. So they saw this coming, but it's a Spirit Bear. And the Orion, like that is a lot of close range firepower coming in on that Direwolf. The Direwolf does not have the DPS. The Direwolf is looking the opposite direction. But they're not shooting the Direwolf, they're shooting the Flea instead or something. I thought they had clear rear shots to drop that Direwolf, but they might have correctly assessed the Direwolf is not the largest threat in a brawl. Not with that low DPS build. This is definitely looking the way of European Redcoats. They are brawling their way to a victory here. The Warhammer 2C goes down, and there is 2 mechs left. A Veagle somewhere in this fight. There he is, Vacation Unit D1. Looks like he has just been legged in that Veagle with the ER peeps. And Cherry Glue in the Flea at 49%, 47%. He's not moving very fast. I'm expecting that he is a leg. He might be stuck on terrain. And that fight went decisively in the favor of the European Redcoats. Some low percentages on their team. We can see the Orion 2CA is indeed legged. But very well done. Nice, clean brawl win. Okay, running through the damage numbers quick here. European Redcoats, top damage coming with that Orion 2CA with the Brawl build from Muzz. He's got 450 damage. Relatively low damage totals across the team for a win, but they are shooting legs, I imagine, so usually there's a little bit less health to chew through when you're doing that. Over on the Sorensen Sabers, 4 Phoenix in the Warhammer 2C. It's a Euro variant, I can't remember the name. 450 damage coming out of them. The rest of the team on the Sorensen Sabers also relatively low damage spread. The two teams might have done... I think Sorensen Sabers might have actually done a little bit higher damage, but the better focus fire coming out of the European Redcoats in that brawl, I guess, carrying the day there. Alright, now we're moving on to Canyon Network for drop 3. So, out of the match that I played and the match I did a cast for yesterday, Canyon Network was perhaps the most interesting drop of the match. Which it's a classic old map. I mean, it should be boring at this point, but it plays well. It's a good map. There's a reason why you see it in every competitive league. Um, yeah, sometimes people are maybe bored of it, but it is a well-balanced map that brings a variety of different play styles, and it's a good map. Nothing really to say about that. The tonnage on this is again moving higher. They're bringing 2 lights, a single medium, 2 heavies, and 2 assaults, which that only having 2 lights and 1 medium makes it a little bit harder to control the caps if a team does elect to go for some caps potentially. All I'm gonna say is I've seen 2 cap wins out of 2 matches either played or spectated on Canyon Network so far. So we'll see. We'll see. You got to keep an eye on the caps, or they might get out of control there suddenly. The match I cast last night was between FJRD and Critical Damage Unit. Sorry, FJRD is Hunters of the Fjordlands, and then Critical Damage Unit, Bandits team, which was in Division F, and it was a banger. So if you're looking for a single drop to watch from this week, I'm going to recommend that one. So far, there's still 3 more to be played here, so we could get a better match yet. But that was a an instant classic. Let's call it that. We have a team locked in here. We're waiting for the second team to lock in. So far, we've got a good match on our hands today. It's all tied going into drop 3. Each team has 1 win. And they weren't total blowout wins either, relatively close. We have a lock, so we're going to launch right shortly. So European Redcoats locked in at 420 tons. Sorensen Sabers locked in at 440 tons. 20-ton difference. Okay, we're looking at Sorensen Sabers here in the red. We have an Annihilator 1P. Where is that? That's a big mech. I shouldn't be able to. There it is. Camouflaged. I couldn't see 5 ER large on that. We have a Huntsman with a pair of UAC 10s from Vacation Unit, a Roughneck Bolt with 2 UAC 5, 2 SRM 2, and 3 ER Mead. A Marauder with 2 LBX 20 and 2 ER Mead. Timberwolf out of 4 Phoenix with 2 Ultra 5, 4 ER Mead. We have a light skirmish going on at the middle. I did miss picking up one more build there, I do believe. Yeah, there's another assault mech. What was it? No, I did get all of the mechs. Okay. So yeah, we have a little bit of an early light skirmish here for Theta. This is going to be denied. Sorensen Sabers, they only have 2 mechs at the fight, whereas there's 3 from their opponents. Timberwolf is providing some supporting fire. The Roughneck as well is shooting in. They might be able to deny the cap, but I don't think... it's going to be difficult. There is cover there for the Mistlings. Now let's get through these builds quick here while I have a little bit of time. Standard machine gun, ER small. This Phoenix is Boom Eagle in the Mistling is taking way too much damage there. Heavy machine gun, ER small on that. The Viper, I want to get the build. Can we catch this before it gets away? Light machine gun, heavy machine. Wait, a mix of heavy and light machine guns. A little bit of indecision there as to whether the build is supposed to be skirmishing or brawling. And retaking Theta here from that Arctic Chi. 4 heavy meads on that. Okay, now where's the rest of...
Theta is controlled by the enemy. Command,
oh, they went around behind Kappa. Well, I should be looking at the minimap and picking that up. We have a Spirit Bear. So brawl on that. Executioner again with the 8 medium pulse. Summoner with SRM 6 and SRM 2. Very big bursty and actually a little bit of sustained DPS on that as well. Does run a little bit hot. And a Catapult A1 with just 5 SRM 6 Artemis. So they are brawl. And Sorensen Sabers have rotated to Epsilon. But are they aware of where their opponents are? Well, yes, Rafu's going to have spotted something here. Oh, that is an Ember Hero Firestarter. It's going to be... oh, no, Rafu, not into there. Well, Rafu's found the opposing team. Can he get a miracle escape here? No, it looks like he's lagged and down. So now Sorensen Sabers are aware of where they were. I doubt that they were before Rafu walked into there. Now they're down 1 light mech. They are up on cap points, although Sigma is being taken. Jimmy's attempting to deny that with that ear large annihilator. No, the cap has been taken. Alright, so European Redcoats have a kill lead and a cap advantage. Are they going to push or are they going to sit? I am seeing not a lot of movement out of the bigger mechs. The Kodiak and the Summoner are sitting, so I think they are just going to continue to run the caps and remain contented with where they are currently. And this is very much a brawl team versus a, well, mid-range, long-range team. Although there is some brawl with that Marauder 2CD and the Huntsman. Coming out of Sorensen Sabers, they are not pure dedicated range either. A little bit of chip damage going out on the Summoner, just taking a peek. You don't want to trade a armor when you're not returning fire there. And we have a potential ambusher there if anyone does attempt to push this corner, but I don't think that the European Redcoats are going to push. They are looking very contented just sitting back. They do continually to take some minor scratch damage from... yeah, the Viper's trying to trade with, what was it, ER Meads against UAC 5s or something. Hetman's peeking, tries to get a shot off, but has now revealed their position and build. This is just going to stalemate for a while. We have a strike coming in. I don't think it's going to hit anything. Yeah, no, the strike just kind of whiffed a little bit. Now, Sorensen Sabers are sending a mech toward Gamma, so they are taking the cap advantage back. And they do still have a cap lead, even though it has been 3 caps to 2 in favor of European Redcoats for a little while. So the caps are getting toward 400. Once it gets to 450, 500, that's where cap win becomes a very realistic possibility. Now, European Redcoats have dispatched a light to Kappa. Are they just reinforcing it? Yes, they are. They're not challenging for Gamma. They're just reinforcing their Kappa cap. Now, the decision is if they are going to push while they know there's a light over on Gamma. That opportunity is passing right now. Or if they're going to make it a play for another cap point. European Redcoats looks like they're making a move toward Theta. Theta, I don't know how overwatched Theta is, the effective overwatch. There is a little bit of cover here. If you have a little small mech like a flea or something, you can get a corner, but we've got movement. We have movement. They are looking to... there is a Viper around Theta, but they are not going for Theta. They're making a push. Is the Viper just a distraction? Now, the Kodiak's been spotted. 4 Phoenix is taking shots with the Timberwolf onto the Spirit Bear while also attempting to retreat. Carlith is leading the charge, but his team is not with him. Carlith makes it to the garbage pile, but they are 50% in that Summoner. That Looks like their leg, that summoner's going down. The rest of the team was not quite there with them. Hetman is connected, just standing still, taking some back shots with those LBX-20s. Executioner 67% from Thrustwinkle. So something went wrong on the coordination of this push for the European Redcoats. And they have close to brawl range, but they are now disadvantaged on the numbers. We have a number of little skirmishes here. Hank Reardon looks like they might have shut down in the bolt against that Mistlings. G.I. Jimmy's being focused on the Annihilator, 53%. Looks like a side torso is off of that mech. Spear Bear goes down. And this one's a little bit too close to call still. It is brawl versus range or mid-range. Jimmy in the Annihilator's 33%, about to go down, I imagine, against that Mistlings. Now this Marauder Marauder 2C needs to get into that fight. Maybe he can land the shots against that Mistlings. Jimmy possibly sticked. I'm going to try to get it. Where's that catapult? I'm reading a catapult is still fresh and healthy. Yes, the catapult's coming in at 88% from Muzz. Now, can they clutch it? They are the last remaining mech. And they're going up into a 1v4 situation here. The leg is being focused on that catapult, open leg. We've also got a heavily wounded Huntsman Prime here. That was a UAC build on the Huntsman. Catapult's about to be led. Yeah, 2 UAC 10 on Vacation Unit D1's Huntsman. And picks up the kill. So, I think the push was a decent call from European Redcoats, but it just, something went wrong in the coordination on it. Okay, I need to rotate the teams. So I'm rotating the players over to the opposing team side manually, one at a time, and then I've also got the scores up on the screen there for you to view while there's a little bit of a downtime here. Okay, and I need to switch the map as well. We're going to Viridian Bog next. And I believe I remembered to rotate the teams in the overlay, and I added the points, so I believe that is accurate. Currently, Sorensen Sabers has 2 wins to 1 win on the European Redcoats. Match is still hanging in the balance. We're going to run through the damage numbers real quick here. So European Redcoats, we have Muzz and that Catapult A1 coming in toward the end, or they might have been brawling and I just couldn't see them in the stack of mechs there. 637 coming out of that Catapult A1 with the SRM build. Lord Arbiter with the Kodiak Spear Bear comes out with a 559. Boom Eagle in the Mistlings G with 464. Rest of the team a little bit lower damage numbers. Carlith did manage to get 102 damage, even though they were a good 5 to 10 seconds ahead of their teammates in that brawl push. something went wrong in the coordination. From Sorensen Sabers, we have Hetman and that Marauder 2CD with the LBX-20s farming in the back, putting up 600 damage. For Phoenix in the Timberwolf, got some early chip damage there with a 426 damage dealt. GI Jimmy in the Annihilator 1P with a 495. Vacation Unit D1 coming in clutch with 4 kills and 461 damage dealt. So respectable damage totals for everyone on Sorensen Sabers except for Rafu pulling off a suicide scout. It was important to know where the team was, but you generally don't want to discover where that they're all in a trench together with brawlers when you're running through them. A little bit of an unfortunate escape route picked there. Skilled pilot in a light mech just got caught. A little bit of an unfortunate situation. Sometimes it happens to everyone. So here we're on to drop 4, and this one is, there's a single light mech for each team, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, and 2 assaults. So this is probably going to be the heaviest tonnage drop of the match. It's also a little bit more difficult to control caps with only 1 light mech, unless if you bring fast mediums. So we'll see what happens here. Close match. Sorensen Sabers is up 2 wins, 2 drop wins to 1 drop win from the European Redcoats, but that is it still leaves the possibility of a comeback for the European Redcoats. If they win the next 2, they win the match. Just waiting for the teams to ready up. They're possibly adjusting their strats, or maybe they're just trying to build out their mechs quick before the next drop. There's always a little bit of chaos when you're trying to rotate players in and out, and maybe you're finding out day of who's going to show up and what mech they do or do not have currently built. At lower divisions, you sometimes see newer players who don't own multiple variants of every single mech in the game. We have a lock coming out of Team 1 with 430 tons. That is the Sorensen Sabers. One of the players is dealing with a little issue here. Part of the delay is that they are currently removing a feline from their keyboard. So that's an interesting delay that you don't get in traditional sports, generally speaking. Looks like we'll have a lock here in a second. There we do. Each team is locked in at 430 tons. Alright, oh, I need to get that collapsed. Okay, we're looking at the blue team here, Sorensen Sabers, for this drop. I believe the overlay is correct. We have a Marauder 2CD coming out of Hetman again with those LBX-20s. Vacation Unit D1 again playing that UAC-10 Huntsman. GI Jimmy in a Summoner. That is their favorite mech. I know that about the player. 2 Heavy Large, 5 ER Mead. Warhammer 2C3. Again, this is not the hero though, so we have a Laser Vomit, Heavy Large ER Mead, and UAC-2 Sunspider. There is a fight going on at Theta. I'm going to try to get down there. It's a Paraspider 5Vs. Okay. So Cap Spider's facing off. They're going to have potentially varying builds. I'm going to try to get that loadout information. Now, European Redcoats has a single large pulse laser. And I did not catch the Trout. They're moving too fast. I'm going to just skip past that for now. Go on to the rest of European Redcoats. Cicada with 3 ER large. 3 ER large is not standard on the Cicada, but that is going to provide them with a mobile flanker. We have a Shadow Cat. Again, another Shadow Cat. This time it is a 2 ER large and 2 LRM 10s. So it's a not dedicated LRM, but there are LRMs in this match. An Atlas. We have an Atlas on the field. LBX 10 SRM 6. The Keeper Highlander Hero Mech. It has a pair of LBX 20s and 4 SRM 6. Very brawl heavy assaults with a lot of armor. Linebacker, I want to catch that build. Head is open already for Das Moon Leem. That is 4 small pulse, 3 heavy mead. Okay, so an interesting skirmishy brawly type hybrid. And a Hailfire with an AC-10, 4 SRM-6, and some small and micro lasers. So that is a brawl deck, and the fight has begun. Muzz being focused down to 80% already in that Highlander. Very armor-heavy mech, but 80%, something is open on that mech, I believe. Sorensen Sabers is playing mid-range and range. Hetman is with the LBX-20s at that range. That is the mech that you want up front, not the Warhammer 2C3, but the push is not fully committed yet. The Trout in that Spider 5e is limping, 59%. And that is the only light mech on Sorensen Sabers, so it's important to keep that alive if they can. Percentages look better on Sorensen Sabers currently, and the push has not really gotten in there yet from European Redcoats. Percentages are low, and they're not really attempting to close anymore, European Redcoats. They're just holding a corner. They do have a cap lead, but the ticket rate is so low at the moment that I don't think that's a viable winning strategy currently. The Atlas is kind of just pinned in the corner there. The Cicada is attempting to keep mechs from peeking in on them. UAC 10 Sunspider putting in a fair bit of hurt on that Atlas. The Atlas is going down 30%. The rest of the team is backing them up. This Sunspider is taking a lot of return fire, but the Atlas, I believe, it had no longer side torsos. That might not have any weapons remaining. Yeah, the Atlas has no weapons remaining. Sunspider is legged, and second leg is open. Sunspider is likely to go down here in a second. So traded a Sunspider for an Atlas. Rest of Sorensen Sabers are moving up. They've closed range against the Brawl team to land their shots. They do have the high ground advantage here. Hetman is moving up 92% in that Marauder 2CD with a pair of LBX-20s. That is a tough customer to be facing once mechs are open. Like, we've got some really good fire coming in. Back shots on that linebacker taking it down. Remaining mechs, it's a keeper at 30%. What is left on that thing? Oh, just open CT, open side torso. Hellfire also open CT, open side torso. The Trout is doing something in the background with their 30-some% Spider. Probably just best to leave the fight and go cap. Looks like that's what they're doing. Now, Sorensen Sabers could still throw this. All of the weapons are still remaining on that Highlander. Before Phoenix does pick up a kill, the Highlander does go down. Yeah, you don't want to push into that one at a time. That's still a big alpha coming out of those mechs, but they did get the kills, and we have one mech remaining. That is the LRM ER Large Hybrid Shadowcat. Trying to kite out something here, maybe try to pull off a cap win. But the caps are now 4 caps to 1. The Spider's gone around and started taking all of the back caps, and the Shadowcat will not be able to outcap the remaining 6 mechs for the Sorensen Saber. Carlos is doing what they can to try and pick up some sort of a win, but the leg is open on that Shadowcat now. Shadowcat being one of the more nimble and agile and fast in bursts, at least, mediums in the game. But without a leg, it's not going to be able to do anything. And the kill is picked up. This is a fairly decisive win for Sorensen Sabers. A lot of low percentage mechs remaining, but they do have 6 mechs still standing. Sorry, a little bit of a misclick there. I am on the correct scene, and yes, it does look like I'm displaying things correctly. So with that drop win, the Sorensen Sabers do pick up the match win. They have 3 drop wins to the 1 drop win of the European Redcoats. But the European Redcoats can still pick up a point. I believe it is drop wins is how this league is being calculated for divisional lead. I'm going to run through the damage numbers real quick here. Sorensen Sabers, we have 906 damage coming out of Rawview, and they were peeking that Atlas at close range, so they farmed some damage at some point in there. G.I. Jimmy, the mid-range Vomit Summoner with 750. For Phoenix, mid-range Vomit Warhammer 2C with 681. The 3 players leading the way. The rest of the team is a little bit lower damage totals overall. And for European Redcoats, nobody has an impressive damage total. We've got a 325 out of Muzz and the Keeper, and 260s, 250, 241 out of the Linebacker, Atlas, and Cicada. The rest of the team pulling up between 100, 150 damage, somewhere in that range. The push just never really got in there, which allowed those laser vomit mechs to just get the damage out. And the UAC 2 Sunspider, which is probably what held off the push initially. After change the map up. Okay, we're going to Mining Collective. This is a tonnage limited drop. Teams are still capped at having a maximum of 2 of a single chassis weight class, but it's 420 tons allowed for each team, and they're still only playing 77, so they cannot bring 2 of each weight class. There's 1 weight class where they're only bringing a single mech. Just waiting for the teams to ready up. I mean, I don't know if they're rotating players or not. Looks like they're within the tonnage limit currently, but they could be rotating players or rotating mechs. They're perhaps choosing spawns or even determining what strat they're going to run. I have no idea how organized or disorganized these teams are. I know some teams are um, more disorganized than others. Speaking of from personal experience there, my bad. Apologies to my team. So we've got a 5 cap conquest match coming up, 420 tons on Mining Collective. And Sorensen Sabers have won this match at this point, but European Redcoats are still looking for points, and they can pull us back to a 3-2. I'm seeing a little bit more mech variety here than what I saw in the other match from last night. The Shadowcat's a little bit of a surprise to me. Both teams have been bringing Shadowcats with a variety of different builds. You don't see a lot of Shadowcat in competitive. In quick play, you often see a Shadowcat kiting around at the end of a game, putting out a damage number, trying to kite out in a 1v3 situation or something. But in competitive, I just have not seen very much Shadowcat, so I'm excited to see that mech get played here. It's not a mech that I personally play, but it's a mech that I like the appearance of and the concept of how it is played. Sorensen Sabers have locked in at 420 tons, which is the maximum allowance for the drop. Okay, we have a lock from European Redcoats. They are taking 405 out of the allowed 420 tons. Alright, teams are coming in. I'm going to be looking at the European Redcoats. Lances arriving here.
Command coming in.
They've brought Bloodasp, Highlander Keeper. That's going to be a brawl build again on that Highlander Keeper. So we'll pull that up real quick here. It's LBX20, SRM6, no surprise. Bloodasp running the same build. Interesting. Yes, you can do a lot of different builds on a Bloodasp. It's an Omni-Mech. Timberwolf with Mead Pulse, SRM6. So that is brawl. I get that linebacker build, heavy mead, small pulse, same as last time.
We have possession of Kappa.
We have a Viper. Viper's going to be some combination of machine guns, probably. Yeah, standard machine guns and small pulse lasers. And then there's 2 mechs on the far side doing a cap. A Mistlings G, that's going to be machine guns, and a Phoenix Hawk 2. If I can get that. No, it's a Piranha. Sorry. Here are micro pulse Piranha. Okay. Arctic Cheetah is running from that. That is a high DPS Piranha. Not a lot of armor, though. Chair Glue in that Arctic Cheetah. I want to get that build. What is the build? Heavy meat lasers, and they are open back already from that, from 1 or 2 shots from that Piranha. Now there's a Direwolf B from Sorensen Sabers with 6 AC5. Hetman running that same Marauder back again with the LBX20s, Vacation Unit D1, and Huntsman again also with the Ultra 10s. Was working for them, why not keep doing it? Jimmy's running an SRM Summoner this time around. A little bit of shots coming out here, nothing serious. And that would be a Javelin. I'm betting that is heavy machine guns again. probably the same build that they ran earlier, and I believe that got all of the mechs. No, I missed, what is that, a Wolverine? We have a Wolverine on the table. MRM 30, MRM 20. That is a mask variant, I believe. Very agile mech. So, we've got more or less dedicated brawl out of European Redcoats, and Sorensen Sabers have a fair bit of brawl, but a little bit of mid-range as well. I think overall I'd classify both teams as running a brawl strat here. Whoa, we've got jump jets on that linebacker. Okay, that's where some of the tonnage went on it. And they have taken the high ground here. Jimmy's fallen off or dropped with the summoner, but he has no teammates to cover him if he were to get jumped here. Jimmy is getting out with his life, 69%. Not completely fresh. No weapons lost. Both legs are open. Jimmy's about to go down, 55%. He is running for his life. His team is moving to cover. And we have Chair Glue putting in some damage with that Arctic Cheetah from up high, but also taking a lot of damage as well. Jimmy needs to keep those legs hidden, and there are not... Oh, the Trout. The Trout looks like they are legged. Are they? No, they aren't. The Trout is legged, yes. Trout's about to go down here. Returning fire on that Piranha. Piranha's at 45%. Piranha goes down before the Javelin does from the Trout. So maybe not the worst trade to be taking here. Hetman is peeking this corner in a 1v multiple situation. Rafia's made it to the fight. Both teams a little bit... multiple smaller engagements currently occurring. Jimmy's gone back in. His legs are open from earlier. And he's got a Mistlings on his tail. Jimmy's going to go down. Vacation Unit D1 is back there with the Viper. I don't know if either of them are shooting at anyone presently. The Direwolf is getting up to the fight 100% there on Hank Reardon. And the Piranha's gone, so no worry about back shots in that case, except from the Viper. Highlander is dropping in. This is going to be a decisive engagement here between Direwolf, Highlander, and Blood Asp. But Hetman with that Marauder with the LBX-20 is also getting some shots in here. The assaults are brawling. Highlander goes down first. Backshot by the Direwolf. Direwolf is still up, and both of the assaults for the European Redcoats are now down. Hetman is legged. The Viper's coming in from Carleith trying to put out backshots on that Direwolf, it looks like. Direwolf is legged and also open in the rear. Chair Glue in the Arctic Cheetah goes down, but it's just Carleith in the Viper against the entire remaining 3 mechs of the Sorensen Sabers, all of which are very heavily wounded. The Direwolf is legged. Carleith might pick up that kill here. Very close, but that Viper... The Viper has been legged now. The Viper is about to go down, and this has gone the way of Sorensen Sabers. So the Sorensen Sabers pick up 4 drop wins to the 1 drop win of the European Redcoats. Just waiting for the caps here. The Huntsman's got both legs, is not in doubt. Very heavily wounded mechs, though, from Sorensen Sabers. That was a close and chaotic brawl fight that we got to observe. Yeah, Direwolf, open yellow leg. That is not much remaining there. And that would be the match going in Sorensen Sabers. 4 drop wins to 1. Close drop, very well played by both teams. Exciting match to watch. Again, I'm getting my money's worth of entertainment here. I guess I could check to see how much ammo is remaining. I mean, there was a fair bit of shooting being done.
We've already gained a quarter of the resources.
Oh, plenty of ammo remaining here on the Huntsman.
50% of their resources. Capture resource points from
93 shots left on the Direwolf, but I believe that is halved because it's 2 shells per shot.
They're almost there.
So that's somewhat low ammo on Hank Reardon's Direwolf. And the Marauder has 30 shots divided between those 2 LBX-20s. Plenty of ammo left for Hetman and his Marauder 2CD.
Command confirming that we have possession of Kappa. provide us huge tactical benefits.
Okay, quickly going through the damage numbers. The Direwolf for the Sorensen Sabers, Hank Reardon with 6 AC5s coming out with 656 damage. Hetman with the Marauder 2CD with the LBX20s with 500. Lower numbers across the rest of the Sorensen Sabers, but relatively even. Big numbers for the European Redcoats. The linebacker H from Desmin Lem, which was a jump jet linebacker. Don't usually see jump jets on a linebacker. 550 damage for them. Muzz in the Highlander Keeper, LBX20 SRM6 build was 470 damage dealt. Bloodass with the same build putting out a 372. Respectable damage totals coming out from everyone. The Piranha kind of got picked off there, but they almost got the pick on the Arctic Cheetah to start the drop off. So that was very close to getting an early pick. It was quite scary there if I was in that Arctic Cheetah's shoes. Okay, so that is the end of the match for today. Sorensen Sabers pick up a 4-1 victory in terms of drop wins. Most of the drops were quite close, and we saw a lot of brawling, some interesting builds, and some little classic duels off on the sides of some of those brawl fights as well. And ultimately, Sorensen Sabers managed to come up with a win there. So congratulations to both teams, well played, and good luck with your future matches as the rest of this league progresses. That's it for me. This was Therax doing another cast here. I'm going to be trying to keep this rolling. There are some other casters hopefully will step in and do some casts as well. And so follow the MWO Leagues channels. There's the MWO Leagues with no number behind it, the main channel. Then we've got the secondary channel here, MWO Leagues 2. And there is also an MWO Leagues 3 that does see some occasional use. So if you enjoy watching MechWarrior competitive play, go ahead and hit a follow on all 3 of those channels. And stay tuned on the MWO Comp Discord for announcements when the matches are occurring as well. And if anyone's interested in casting, let the MWO Comp Discord people know, because we could use some more casters. So if you're sitting there going, well, I could do a better job than this guy, go ahead. Put your name into the ring. We need casters. Even if you don't do a better job than this guy, you know, they let anyone cast. Well, not quite, but they let me cast, so, you know, not that hard, guys. Step up, and thanks for watching.